Hello and welcome to The Hearing. I'm John.
And from Chicago's North Side, I'm Scotto.
And before we get to this week's album, earlier today I finally heard the first single from Stanley Simmons, Body Down. Stanley Simmons, as the name implies, is a duo comprised of the sons of Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. Looking at them, because there's a video, I assumed wrong as to who was who. Because I thought there's one who has long dark hair and one who has kind of shorter, curly, lighter hair. I thought the long dark hair was Paul Stanley's son. Turns out it's Gene Simmons. If you get them at the right angle, he does look like his father.
It was either him or Borat. I
Yeah,
didn't know who his
yeah.
father would
Nick
be.
Simmons looks a lot like his father. Certain angle, certain light. Evan Stanley looks nothing like his father. But what surprised me, because you hear sons of Stanley and Simmons, you assume that it's gonna sound like Kiss.
Oh, I think I had the two of them mixed up. Yeah, the Borat one would be Stanley, right?
The curly haired one is Stanley.
With the eyebrows and the.
The one with the long hair, long dark hair is Simmons.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Um,
Or
you
Borat.
expect? I went into it expecting hair metal.
Yes, of course.
It's folk.
I mean,
Like
it's practically a Wicker Man kind of thing going on
they harmonize the
in the
entire lead
video.
vocal. It's acoustic guitars except for the solo. Lots of great percussion. They have great voices. There are some clips on their YouTube channel of them like doing bits of the Chain and some Crosby, Stills Nash. They're very influenced by like Canyon, folky
Not their
classic rock
fathers.
stuff. And yeah, Paul Stanley said like it sounds very different from Kiss, but he's like their biggest fan. Um,
And that's cool. I
yeah, yeah.
mean,
Um, yeah, Simmons, as far as hasn't really said anything. Paul Stanley's been very supportive of them. But I was just shocked that it's super folky, and judging from the other clips, that's going to be their sound. I'm really curious to see who plays on the album. I know they both, obviously, they
yeah,
both handle lead vocals. They both play guitar. I've seen in clips. I'm guessing it's going to be a who's who, given who their fathers are.
yeah.
It's going to be the point where being a nepo baby pays off because you can get the big
Sometimes
names.
it's just the business is the business,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Um,
that's life. People took their parents,
mhm.
position and worked on it.
Yeah, they chose the same career as their parents. I think it was Maya Hawke who said this. Um, being a nepo baby, and I'm paraphrasing, gets you in the room, but then the expectation is 10 times higher than it is for somebody
Right.
who isn't known. You have to deliver
Exactly.
once you're in the
You
room.
gotta be good to actually move
Yeah,
beyond the initial like, oh, I heard that.
but yeah, the song is called "Body Down" by Stanley Simmons. I highly recommend checking it out. It's actually a really good song. I'm looking forward to an album now.
Generally, I find people use the Nepo baby thing when it's a woman
Yeah,
and
fair,
the
fair.
when it's dudes, they're usually just, oh yeah, whatever.
No, I mentioned if I babysit this. I think I said the
Yeah.
same thing about the band that had Steve Lukather and Nick Collins, Trev Lukather, Steve Lukather's son, and Nick Collins. That they were in a band for a while. I think they've split up since then.
Oh,
Um,
really?
Unfortunately, good band, but I know I referred to them as Nepo Babies too. Um,
I mean, Nick Collins, though,
Nick
like,
Collins, hell of a
has
drummer. And Trev
he's done a
Lukather,
lot
hell
of
of a
work
guitar player.
with he's done a lot of work with his father's
Right,
friends.
right. Um, and did he tour with them yet?
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Very talented. Maya Hawke mentioned her. Very talented actor. These guys super talented, and I love that they're in the same business, but they're going a completely different direction. So
It
there's
is good
not
that
going
they're
to be
doing their
this.
own thing.
There's not
Yeah.
going to be that same expectation. Um, anyway, on to this week's album, which is from 1982, "Desperate" by Divinyls, and I'm glad it was 10 years before last time's album because I forgot to change the date. I just happened to remember it's from 82, not 92, like the One Rolling Dervishes album. The Vinyls were an Australian rock band that were formed in Sydney in 1980, who are best known for their songs Pleasure and Pain and I Touch Myself. Desperate is their debut studio album and second album overall. Their first release being the soundtrack to the film Monkey Grip, which has four of the songs on this album and a couple other songs. Um, this was easier to get a hold of instead of the Monkey Grip soundtrack.
And I think this has more stuff that people might be
Well, it
familiar
has a
with.
few more songs. It has 10 songs as
Yeah.
opposed to, I think, 7 on the Monkey Grip soundtrack. It was released in January of 1983. I'm sorry, I had the date slightly wrong. Um, on Chrysalis Records, produced by Mark Opitz, and features Chrissy Amphlett on lead vocals, Mark McEntee on lead and acoustic guitars and backing vocals, Bjarne Olin on keyboards, backing vocals, and guitar, Jeremy Paul, bass on, and I'm guessing on this, Boys in Town, Only Lonely, Elsie, sorry, and Only You. Jeremy Paul left the band after they did Monkey Grip, but before this album, and
Oh,
those are
wow.
those are the four songs that are on the Monkey Grip soundtrack that are on this album. So I'm gonna guess he played on those. Um, Rick Grossman bass on presumably all the remaining tracks, and Richard Harvey on drums. Reminder: I don't edit any songs into our reviews for copyright reasons, but on our blog at johnscotto.wordpress.com you'll find links to Desperate on Spotify and YouTube so you can follow along if you'd like. Track 1, Boys in Town. Great guitar tones on this one. Love the groove. Love the vulnerability in Amphleth's voice.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of surprised because, and this should be a lesson to not judge 80s bands by
Yeah.
their late 80s pop
Mm-hmm.
output. They usually start from somewhere, and but I was not expecting it to start like this.
Their last two albums were decidedly poppier than their first
Oh
few.
yeah. Oh my God. I mean, but this is pretty close to it's post-punk, but it's
Yeah.
closer to punk, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm. Um, I think this one was ahead of its time in a lot of
Oh,
ways.
definitely. Yeah.
Um, Love those little bass leads in the chorus. Nice short guitar solo before the bridge, and then a great proper solo. I love Mark McEntee's playing, even his stuff on I
Yeah.
Touch Myself. I just love that kind of Keith Richards the bluesy thing he does. Nice harmonies in the outro from the rest of the band. Track 2, Only Lonely. Not a Bon Jovi cover.
I thought it was the Motels at first.
Oh, okay. Only the
Only
Lonely.
the lonely.
Yeah. The Bon Jovi had Only Lonely. Nice bouncy groove on this one. I like how all those guitars are mixed. There's like four guitars on it. Nice vocal melody. I like those high background vocals in the chorus that oohs, but they're like an octave up from where Chrissy is. Um, Nice timing change going into the bridge. Great lead guitar sound. And I like how Chrissy Amphlett goes from like these super high notes to this distortion in the last chorus.
Yeah, I mean she works out like just using like only,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, or only lonely
Yeah,
as like a chorus.
yeah.
I don't know how she can do it. And it's quite a pop song,
Mm-hmm.
quite a hook to it.
It's a big departure. That's another thing I love about this album. It covers a lot of ground.
Yes.
Like everything sounds different. On to track 3. This is my pick for favorite science fiction. Love the keyboards in the intro and really all over the song. Great groove. Love those triplets on the drums in the two doubled choruses. He plays like six triplets as the chorus repeats because she comes in a beat early. They like cut a beat off. It goes into an odd meter, and I don't know if he's covering or what, or they just decided to make it even more confusing. He just plays like six triplets in a row. Um, Nice kind of lead guitar riff into the verses. I love the vocal solo, as I'm calling it, the ooh ooh thing she does.
And the bass line in this one really just jumps
Oh
out,
yeah.
you know?
Mm.
Uh, I think Madonna kind of ripped this one off when she did Material Girl. There's very,
Okay, yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of feel to it where it's just,
A
otherworldly.
little bit, yeah.
And I think she took a lot of that from this. And I think she was influenced a lot by Kate Bush.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You
Okay.
could tell
Yeah.
a lot of the
Yeah.
vocal stylings and,
Huh.
just because remember Kick Inside, I believe it was,
Oh,
is from like 79.
okay, yeah. I can definitely hear it now that you mention it. And Chrissy Ann Flip made me realize one of the things that really, probably the big thing that really draws me to a vocalist is when they're right on that line between singing and speaking.
Yeah.
She does it all the time. All of my favorites do. Ian Anderson, Muddy Waters, Greg Lake. all of my favorites. They're right on that line between singing and speaking.
Yeah, Lake did do that a lot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or he was singing, but it was more of a just
Hmm.
an ease, a
Yeah.
talking. But with her, with we never get her name
Chrissy
right,
Amplet.
Amplet, she really doesn't play it safe with
No,
any of her
no.
vocals,
Oh,
on this at least. I mean, it's not the polished singer that I was accustomed to from the late 80s.
oh no.
No, she fucking pushes it here, and you're just like,
So
damn.
you hadn't really heard anything other than I Touch Myself before this.
Right, and Pleasure and Pain,
She takes some chances on Pleasure and Pain. She gets chaotic on that one.
but not compared to
Well,
this,
no, more so on these,
or
yeah.
some of the things on this album,
Yeah, yeah,
where she really goes fucking nuts.
yeah. Track 4, Siren, Never Let You Go. I'm going to assume the male lead on this is Bjarne Olsen because he wrote it.
Yeah, I'd assume that too.
Um, you mentioned that Madonna was influenced by them. I'm going to say another possible influence and an interesting connection. Um, that opening guitar riff reminds me a lot of Thunderstruck.
Oh, I was thinking more of Rush.
Okay, yeah, Spirit Radio, I hear that too. That was a little Spirit Radio was a little bit before this. He might have taken a little influence from Alex.
In fact, I could imagine Getty even singing this, honestly.
Yeah, yeah,
And
okay. Um,
and I mean, this comes probably the closest to punk on the album.
mhm.
Uh, just when her voice comes in, and it's just so insane. I don't know if it's sped up or if she's doing
No,
some crazy vocal
she's
gymnastics
doing some
just in the
gymnastics.
background at
Um,
first.
and I say there's a possible connection because the producer of this album, Marco Opitz, engineered a couple of AC/DC albums, and
Ah,
at the end of this album they covered the Easy Beats, which included George Young, older brother of Malcolm and Angus, and Harry Vanda, the two guitar players from the Easy Beats, produced everything in AC/DC did up until Highway to Hell. Uh, so there's a connection there, and I'm wondering if AC/DC heard this and Angus kind of fucked around a bit and found inspired by it and found Thunderstruck. Um, but back to Siren, this is a great groove. Hearing another singer was a nice change of pace.
yes, very
Um,
much.
love that minor turn in what I'm calling the chorus, the Never Let You Go part.
Yeah,
Um, nice fun solo. Love that chaotic layered vocal we get into that in that next chorus.
right. Like, what is that even? Like, what is she doing? How is she doing that?
Overdubbing.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of overdubs of her saying different things.
And you don't think there was any speeding up involved there?
Oh no, she's not saying those all on one take.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's multiple takes overdubbed. She's talking over herself at points, I think. Um, track 5, Elsie, close to favorite, but the ending they needed an editor. The good though, love that moody keyboard opening. Great change of pace. It's very slow and moody and melodramatic. Great bass tone. Love that bass riff
And
that it starts
you
with.
needed that downshift
Yeah.
after the
Oh yeah.
madness from the
Oh
last
yeah.
song.
Yeah.
And this one was like a journey for me to go through and the number of listens,
Uh-huh.
because this one there's a lot to unpack here.
Oh yeah. Love those guitar harmonics in the intro too. Beautiful vocal melody. Great groove
Oh
once the
yeah.
drums finally come in.
She has this really sweet vocal in the beginning. And then and then just to motherfuck all of that,
Oh yeah.
this wild scream in the middle.
Uh-huh. Love those guitar stabs in the first half of the bridge. Then we get to the break, aka the last third of the song. Um, it kind of droned on. If it faded at 4 minutes, it would have been an easy favorite for me.
I loved the guitar work on you know I've loved it on this whole album,
Uh,
but here uh, especially, and I was hoping it wasn't going to go too far, and it ended, I think, at the appropriate time.
it's 6:42, by the way.
However, there's like the last 2 minutes are just it's just like that bass and drum. So, and maybe a stab or two, kind of.
Well, the whole break is about 2 minutes. But then it does go back to that bass riff
Okay, yeah.
at the very end, last 30 seconds or whatever. It goes back to that bass riff.
I think if they just had a different ending, I think this might have been a favorite too.
Either way, even if you extended a fade, I think would have been better, at least on the album. It was probably great live. They probably extended it even more and just went off.
Oh, probably, yeah. But yeah, instead of having just nothing, just fade it somewhere in the solo
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of it, obviously,
Yeah.
I wouldn't lose much of that solo at
Uh,
all. I think Spotify may have faded it out faster than
oh,
YouTube.
okay.
I could be wrong though. There was still like a little bit,
I think it was a cold stop on YouTube.
yeah, like like it just goes with that guitar, that bass and drum for a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, and it's like kind of a okay, all right. I feel like that part's a little shorter on Spotify.
Track 6, Only You. I'm going to say not a Platters cover. I forgot to look it up. Really fun groove on this one. Love all the rhythm guitar parts. Very fun vocal melody. Nice Kinks reference. Paranoia, a soul destroyer.
Which, that's not a surprise
Yeah, not at
that
all.
they'd be an influence here.
Yeah. Great guitar solo. A bit repetitive, but it fit the song. Um, nice harmonics during the bridge.
Oh, this is a get in, get out.
Yeah.
They did not wear out their welcome with this one.
Uh-huh.
This is under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And this is the one I was thinking I messed up like only lonely, where
Mm-hmm.
she makes three words pretty much a
Yeah.
chorus,
Yeah.
only you.
Track 7, Ring Me Up. The opening of this one feels a bit hair metal to me. Like when I first heard
Yeah,
that
like
guitar and that ooh, all these deep ooh from the rest of the band, I was like, are they going hair metal? And then it comes in, the drums and the bass come in, great guitar sound, great groove once that rhythm section comes in. Um,
was hair metal even a phrase in 82, 83?
just starting at 83. Um,
Right.
it's like very, very beginning of the first wave was 83. Um,
I think they were going for Queen here more than anything
okay, yeah, I can
else.
see that.
which which is kind of a turn from the rest of the album, of course, because there's nothing that I would think, yeah, this is a stadium thing like
Mhm.
this. And also remember, this is pre-Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, love the bass tone, love the verse melody, like how it goes a bit reggae in the pre-chorus.
Hmm, I don't
They,
know.
I mean, the whole verse is kind of on the edge of reggae, and then they lean a bit more
You're right.
into it. Um,
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and I really like that spoken first chorus.
So yeah, the whole call and response, it feels like a very odd rhythm too. It's very interesting what they did here because it's kind of like it's kind of a stadium thing, but it's not. It's like a few things combined, it feels.
It's in four. It's not odd, but the emphasis is weird because it really pushes the one. Um,
Okay.
so it does give it a bit of a halted feel, but it is a straight four. Um, Track 8, Victoria. Love that harmonic tension between the keys and the guitar when it first comes in. Like it's very atonal.
I think it was like in the later listens, I like this has a Rush influence too. It's like Tears.
Okay, wow, that's a deep cut. How the hell do you know Tears?
Why wouldn't I know Tears? 2112. I mean, I don't think there's not many other tracks you can even that
I
really stand out from 2112.
the first half.
Yeah.
The actual piece 2112 does. On the second half, fair enough. I don't even really remember what else is on the second half of Something for Nothing. I maybe. Anyway, uh, love the bass tone, great drum sound, great groove in the chorus. The solo reminds me a bit of George Harrison.
Huh.
This one feels longer than it is, but I mean that in a good way.
Well, there's a build going on here. I mean, they really work
Mm,
this.
yeah,
It starts off slow and then in that Tears thing, and then it gets into this more frantic pace towards the end. So it's only 3 minutes and change,
yeah.
but they really made the most out of it.
And I checked. I'm like, this has got to be on like 4 minutes. Is it going to be endings? You know, I looked at the timeline. It was only 2 minutes of a three and change song. Wow. But again, I'm not complaining. Usually that would be a complaint for me, like on
It's a journey.
Elsie. Um,
They squeeze a lot into there.
yeah, yeah. Um, Track 9, Take a Chance. Love that opening guitar part. Reminds me a bit of Van Halen
Oh,
in
wow.
terms of the tone, the raised rhythm tone. Um,
It's very early for that. Well, I
yeah.
guess that's
No, Van Halen was
79,
like
right?
77.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Great bass tone, great heavy guitar tone in the verse. Nice groove, great solo. I love how big the drums sound in the by the end.
Yeah, this is my pick for strongest. She really goes like Kate Bush and
Yeah, yeah.
some Bowie here. Like
Hmm.
I'm thinking TCV 1915 from
Okay,
Station
yeah,
to
yeah.
Station, or maybe a lower Geddy Lee. I don't know. I mean, but
Hmm.
it's a lot harder than all of those things I mentioned. So it's
Uh,
very interesting to put that
yeah,
into this,
yeah,
and just her vocalizations.
yeah.
It's probably her best vocal performance on the album, which is saying a lot.
She really should be better remembered as a singer.
Definitely.
She's remembered as a front person because she was
Yeah,
wild on stage. As chaotic as her vocals are, that's how she was on stage. Um, and
right.
um, she had a very chaotic life. I'll put it that way. And a very
Yeah.
chaotic relationship with with Mark McEntee, who was the only constant member of the band. So yeah, she's remembered for that stuff. She's not really remembered as a vocalist, and she should be. She passed away in 2013, by the way. Um,
Yeah. I'd forgotten until we,
mhm.
started looking into it.
Yeah,
Like, oh yeah, that's right. I remember,
yeah.
of course
Uh,
they replay Touch Myself, at
God.
that time.
I
But
have
yeah,
not heard that song since the 90s. I just
yeah,
haven't bothered. Um,
that's just
as you can tell, I'm a big fan of this album and the next couple. Um, love, Pleasure, and Pain. Listen to that a lot. I haven't heard Touch Myself since the 90s, and I still remember it practically note for note because that's how much I fucking heard it back then.
you couldn't
Um,
escape it. It
yeah.
was one of those things. I
Mm,
mean, it was late in the game for one of those things where you couldn't escape a song.
yeah. And I will again will reiterate the two songs they're remembered for, Pleasure and Pain and I Touch Myself, written by Holly Knight and Mike Chapman. These, aside from this last one, most of them were written by Amphlett and McEntee. McEntee wrote Victoria. Bjarne Olin wrote Siren. Everything else is Amphlett McEntee. Much better than either of those other songs that were written by
Yeah.
the heavy hitters. Um,
But they got the job done.
yeah, they got the
They
hits.
they they
Yeah,
got to eat. They got to eat.
yeah, true. Um, and finally, track 10, I'll Make You Happy. This is an Easy Beats cover. Love the opening riff. I can imagine this song in a movie.
And I just see Steve Wright, and I'm like, oh, is it just the mellow, guy?
No, it's probably someone from the Easy Beats, probably going to guess the
Yeah,
singer.
Stevie
Um,
Wright.
yeah. Um, but yeah, this one just seems like it belongs in a movie for me. I don't know why. Love the groove. Love those kind of sinister minor twists on the guitar. Great chaotic break. The drums once again sound huge by the end.
It's so punk rock. I
Yeah,
mean, her voice just goes to places it shouldn't physically be allowed
yeah,
to
yeah.
go,
Um,
but it does.
yeah. I checked out the Easy Beats original.
Oh yeah.
Divinyls got louder, and she changed the gender in the chorus, but that's
Oh,
about the only difference. It's just a louder
okay.
gender swapped version of the Easy Beats version. Um, so do you recommend it?
It's an easy recommend. They'll probably be on the year-end list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely recommend it too. It's just too bad that they became famous for two very commercial songs that they didn't write.
That's what everybody did in the 80s,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Early 90s in the last case, because it was like 91. I touched myself.
Yeah.
Um, and that's it for Desperate. Until next time, when we'll be reviewing Songs from the Big Chair by Tears for Fears. Aside from a few songs, I have not heard most of this album in years. So it'll be
Yeah, it's been a
interesting to
little bit.
revisit it. Um, I listened to the two big singles, actually all three big singles. I like Head Over Heels as long as I'm hearing Broken ahead of it.
Yeah.
I like that combination. You can't cut Broken from it. But the rest of it I have not heard in a long time, so it'll be interesting. Oh, Mother's Talk, I saw the video for it popped up. on YouTube. So it'll be interesting to revisit it after so much time. Anyway, until then, of course, always remember, never forget, wherever you go in life,
There you are.
are.